welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. And guess what? We're doing something a little bit different. And we're doing something a little bit different because, well, it's Christmas time and I want to start feeling a little bit more into the Christmas spirit. And it's been a little bit hard considering a lot of things that's been going on, right? So hopefully you'll be able to kind of get into it with me as well. So what I want to do, and I'm not sure if you're really familiar with this or not, but if you are, there is a thing that is called like Vlogmas, right? And that's when the opportunity, when creators who do vlogs typically kind of go through their Christmas time and in the season, they'll either do a video every single day that's associated with Vlogmas, or, you know, once a week or however repetitively they want to do it. But it's all centering around the things that they're doing that focuses on Christmas time. So I said, you know what? I want to do something like that for this channel in my not so humble opinion style. And since we do commentary on all things recap, reviews, and worthy news, whether it be celebrity or not, I thought it would be really fun to kind of do something like that to kind of bring in a little bit of that Christmas cheer onto this platform as well. So I'm so glad that you are here, and I'm super glad that to do this. So my take is actually going to be on the 12 days of Christmas. Now, of course, today is December 13th. That's the day this is actually being uploaded. So if you're watching it, this is day one. And so, of course, because I like the concept of the 12 days of Christmas and well, I decided would it be kind of cool to do something to be a little bit more scandalous. And we're going to adjust it to say, basically, the 12 days of a scandalous Christmas story. Yeah, and I'm excited about that. So I have got my cup of Jubilee with my, you know, Christmas inspired mug. And of course, my cup of Jubilee for today is really just water. But, you know, maybe one day I'll have some spirits in here. We'll just have to see how it all works out. So I hope that you will enjoy. It's just a lot of fun here. Just do something a little bit different. Just, and, you know, kind of supportive this season, but, you know, having a little spice added to it as well. So, yeah, definitely. I want you to sit back and relax and let's just enjoy a little bit of time. Now, you might be wondering what exactly we're going to be talking about when it comes to scandalous stories of Christmas time. Well, if you recall, you know, there are times where you have, like, I think it's kind of like the Grinch that stole Christmas, or it's like the Scrooge, not really the Grinch that stole Christmas, but the Scrooge movie, right? And that's the one where they get an opportunity, I think, to go back into Christmas past and Christmas present and Christmas future. So for this year, I'm going to be doing stories from that came through the holiday time frame surrounding the Christmas area, maybe starting in Thanksgiving time frame and going into Christmas. So you'll see that from some of the dates, but that's the kind of stories that we're going to focus on. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit more nostalgia. And so all the stories is going to actually be represented from a time in the past. Because look, we all know that the world is on some cases on fire right now. And so since other videos are going to be covering those things, I thought it'd be kind of fun to just go back a little bit into past journeys to see if we were just as crazy back then as it seems to be a lot of times now. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, probably, but we're going to just go ahead and see. Now, this is going to be a varied area of stories. So I hope that you enjoy, and we're going to get into it here in just a second. So let's see what we're going to pull up with first. Da, da, da. And, you know, we're in Mercury retrograde right now, too. I don't know if you know that. I don't think we're out of it yet. Oh, I tell you, how many Mercury retrogrades are we going to have? Oh, never mind. All right, so we are going to get into it. So now what I want you to do is I want you to peruse the time and your thoughts. And if you maybe weren't born yet, just kind of think of a time. But I think it will probably be pretty much covered because this is actually from 2012. So I want you to set the stage, or I'll set the stage rather, of the scene in which you kind of think back, take yourself back to 2012, what you may have been doing in 2012, what it seemed like and felt like in 2012. I really don't remember much about 2012 as far as what I was doing, but I do remember some things that happened that were pretty pivotal throughout that year. But yeah, nevertheless, but we're going back to 2012. So we're in our peripheral, time machine, right? And the hit movie at that time was the Marvel movie, The Avengers. The #1 hit song at that time, according to Billboard Hot 100 2012, was Somebody That I Used to Know. And I'm not really sure about what that song is, because I don't know if I remember that or not. But if you did, drop it down in the comment section below. Apparently, it was featuring Kimbra, and it stayed upon the Hot 100s list for 8 consecutive weeks. And then, of course, one of the most beloved and talked about celebrities of 2012 was none other than the voice herself, our beloved Whitney Houston, who we must say, we pray that she continues to rest in paradise. So let's go ahead and get into what our first story is. So we are going to sourced article of E! Online. And this one starts off with, oh yeah, the Brawl of the year probably at this point. So let's go ahead and click in to see if you can remember some of that. All right. Do you remember this guy? Oh, yeah. I mean, boy, the bruising on his face and the brawl of that time was insane. So basically, the story shares that on the morning of Thanksgiving in 2012, Gabrielle Aubry, the Oscar winner's ex and father of her daughter Nada, this is Halle Berry's boyfriend's Brawl, and her then boyfriend Oliver Martinez, had scuffled in the driveway of Berry's Beverly Hills home. Now, Aubry was arrested on suspicion of battery, but then claiming Martinez threatened to unalive him, it secured a temporary restraining order against the French actor, who was spotted with a brace on his right hand the following week. Now, the November 22nd fight came just weeks after a judge had denied Berry's petition, which Aubry had been fighting to relocate to France with Nala. Now, Berry and Martinez, who met co-starring in the 2010 thriller Dark Tide, got married in July of 2013 and had welcomed son Maceo that October, but she had filed for divorce, unfortunately, in 2015. Now, as you all are probably fully aware of, there's a lot going on since then as well. But do you remember that brawl? Oh my gosh, I do remember. It was like breaking news. And what ended up happening was that I think I was watching something on TV, and then the next thing you know, it was like, you know, Halle Berry's boyfriend, which ended up becoming his husband, but her boyfriend beats up Aubry, her baby daddy. And it was like, what is going on? So, you know, there always seemed to be unfortunate issues when it came to the co-parenting stuff that was going on with Halle Berry with her first, and then also, unfortunately, her second, which she's going through right now. And I've actually did a couple of videos on that. But it was just really unfortunate time. And I have to say, Halle Berry really has had a real hard luck of it when it comes to, you know, the parenting area at that time with the 2 children, unfortunately. I'm hoping things have gotten much better over the years, and she does seem to be very much happy in love now. So all is well in that department. We do know that she's having some troubled times when it comes to the I was just thinking about the actual expression on all of our faces when we saw it, because it was so, what is going on, right? But yeah, Oliver and Halle are now having, unfortunately, some issues going through with their co-parenting arrangements with her son. So hopefully those things will come to some kind of remedy here really soon, maybe into next year. Who knows? We'll have to see. But at least she's in happy in love, and that helps a little bit to have a, you know, a partner that's with you at all times. But yeah, and I haven't heard much about Aubry since this incident. But if you are familiar with this story, if you remember this scandalous story, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section. And I'd be curious if you remember the time when it actually happened. What were your thoughts? I mean, because, you know, it wasn't something like we heard very often. Here now, you're hearing people fighting and duking it out every other day. But back then, it was a little bit scandalous. So yeah, 2012, there it is for the first story of a scandalous Christmas time. So yeah, I wanted to then also kind of shed over to another interesting take on some of the most popular Christmas movies that have been. Now, a lot of people love, well, you know, this movie here, which would be, yeah, you remember that? That would be The Grinch, right? The Grinch That Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. Well, would you have you know that apparently not everybody was so excited about this movie, which I was actually surprised, because it's like an iconic stay of a movie that you hear every single year. Everybody's always interested in watching it, dressing up like the Grinch, you know, doing themed parties. I mean, it's the work still to this day, and we're talking so many years later. But apparently that wasn't always the case for everybody. Not everybody was so beloved loved what the Grinch stole the Christmas. So let's go ahead and talk about, or share about, or I'll share about. I don't know why I'm saying like we're both doing it together, right? But let me share about what kind of, I guess, would be maybe not the most popular thought of this movie. So apparently, this is coming from BuzzFeed in December 2020. So now we all know what's going on in 2020. The year was coming to quite an upheaval, we'll just say that. And so I don't think a lot of us were in too much of a good, cheery mood at that time. But nevertheless, one of the conversations that came about when BuzzFeed decided to do a survey of the most important and fun, they thought, Christmas movies and what people really thought about it. Well, apparently there was an individual that shared their thoughts, and it said, hey, the live action Grinch with Jim Carrey is disturbing. Could you imagine? Disturbing. It said between the Who's creepy faces and the Grinch's backstory, it just makes me uncomfortable. So there you have it. That was one of the main thoughts that went against the grain of the beloved story itself. Now, I did watch the first Grinch, and I know that there's been about 2 other Grinch movies, I think, maybe 1 or 2 or something like that. And I did not watch, I don't think, the second one. The first one was good. I think that at the time, it was really cool to kind of take, an adaptation from the cartoons and bring it into, full-fledged life. I think things were good. And I do think that they really went into it. I mean, you had the Whoville girl with the hair up and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of iconic. Was that Susie Who or something like that? And then you had Jim Carrey as well. So, and Jim Carrey, I mean, he's a lovable guy, right? He's a comedian. He's been around for so long, and he's quite funny. So I don't know if I would think disturbing was the case, but apparently someone wasn't very comfortable or feeling very Christmassy or fun about that, even though the Grinch is literally all about stealing Christmas. So yeah, but I just thought it was so interesting that not everybody found it to be such a beloved Christmas movie. But how about you? If you've seen it, if you plan on seeing it again, like as far as it's a tradition for you to watch it every year, let me know down below in the comment section. I would sure love to know. I don't really know what my go-to movies are. Quite frankly, I don't really think I watch a main movie every single year. I kind of just go with whatever's happening in that time. But what I did do, because I really needed a moment to just kind of digress into just nothingness, I guess, at this point. And I wanted to just be entertained, but I wanted to go back so far back into childhood that I decided to watch Frosty the Snowman and another adaptation that usually comes on once a year. I think it's on ABC or NBC or something like that. But that was kind of fun, and it was nice to kind of go back. I love the Flintstone Christmases as well. So those are really fun, and so long ago, but sometimes you just need a moment to just escape, and sometimes all you can do is just escape right in your living room. But yeah, so I am excited for this 12 days of Christmas, because we're going to get into some of these stories, and we're going to get into some of these movies, and really what some thoughts of individuals had about these movies that we thought may have been so beloved. Maybe not everybody felt the same way. So I do hope that you enjoyed the little bit of a detour, and I would definitely love to know your thoughts about what you're doing for Christmas this season, if you are interested at all in moving forward with the season in the way that's outside of the reason for the season, that is. And if so, if you want to share some of the things that you might be doing, that'd be great. And if you're going to be taking it easy, that'd be great to share that too. But yeah, I would love to know what maybe is one of your favorite Christmas movies. Drop that down below as well. And again, do you remember that Brawl of the year? At least, I don't know if there was more brawls that happened in 2012, but that was a big one. But yeah, let me know if you remember that story and just kind of what your thoughts were about it. I just say I'm glad that things have changed on that front, but boy, I just think Hallie needs a really huge break. So I think that'll about do it for this first day of Christmas, or first day of 12 days of a Scandalous Christmas story. And that would be stories, because we're going to cover a couple of them because they're really small. But with that, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed, and definitely make sure that you keep your notification bells on, because I will be having some other videos. In addition, I will still be doing, videos that are in the current time and with things that are going on right now in this crazy world that we have. But I really Again, hope that you enjoyed. And of course, as this is the 12 days of Christmas, this actually is going to run each day, every day, which is going to be quite a testament for me to see if I can actually upload a video every single day for the next 12 days. We're going to see how that works out. I know I've done multiple multiple videos in a day. This is going to be interesting, actually filming every single day. But we're going to go for it because that's what Vlogmas does. So we're going to do the same thing and pull that part and add it to this theory here as well. So yeah, so definitely make sure you stay tuned, and I will see you tomorrow for at least day 2 of 12 days of a scandalous Christmas. And of course, as always, take care, be blessed, and I will see you next time. Bye.